Today I'm going to be showing you how to build an Amethyst Geode farm from Minecraft. If you want to go straight to your tutorial, then you can do by using the timestamps in the description. First I'm going to start off by showing you how this farm actually works. Amethyst Geodes naturally generate underground. They sometimes generate next to caves, and if they do, then you're kind of lucky. You know when you found one because they generate with a layer of smooth basalt and calcite. Amethyst Geodes can be large or small. This one's a large Amethyst Geode. The smaller ones are a little bit smaller and probably not as good for this sort of farm. In Amethyst Geodes you can find the budding amethyst, which is what you're going to be using for this farm. Amethyst clusters will grow on these budding amethysts. They have 4 different stages, and you want this stage, which is the large amethyst cluster. Now the large cluster is the only one that will give you the amethyst crystals. The smaller ones won't at all, so you're kind of hoping to get all of them like this. Now to design this farm, what I did was I cleared out all the unnecessary blocks. So all we had left was the budding amethyst, and this is what a large amethyst geode would look like if you just had the budding amethyst. So over here I've marked out which budding amethyst I wanted to keep, and got rid of the ones which I don't need, just because they're going to get in the way, and it's going to be quite annoying to work with them all in the same place. Each one of these budding amethysts shows sort of the rough area in which each one of these farms would take up. After choosing which one of the budding amethysts I'd keep, I'd choose one of these 3 designs, which I actually designed myself. Now this one only farms on 4 sides, but it's quite easy to build. This one's just as easy to build pretty much, and it farms 5 different sides, and I actually like this one the most just because of how simple it is. This one over here can farm 6 sides. It can farm the whole of the budding amethyst, and it's probably the most efficient out of all the others, and it's definitely worth all the redstone. Now this redstone monstrosity is what I've kind of built out of the Amethyst Geode farm, so this might look really complicated, but it's really not. It's just a repetition of the Amethyst Geode farm over there, and all I've done is just repeat it over here for each budding amethyst. Now there are 17 budding amethysts altogether in this area, and all of these are just linked up with observers and that sort of stuff. And it's all linked up to a redstone clock here. This redstone clock will time about 167 minutes, which is a long time, but it times about that much. And I found that that's the most efficient time period. Over here I've got a group of repeaters. For this bigger farm you need this group of repeaters. For the other ones you don't. So these repeaters here send out 2 pulses instead of 1. And this is because sometimes if you have 1, so if there's an amethyst cluster here and it breaks and the amethyst drops, it'll drop onto here, but after this is triggered, it'll just be standing there. So as we have 2 pulses, it's going to push these extra amethyst crystals into the top of here. Now each one of these farms have their own collection system. Now if you want to, you can link all the other collection systems together, but I found that it just makes a whole mess, and it's way more lag efficient if you just have it separate collection systems. And I've also found using barrels is more lag efficient. Now you don't get too many items, as this is one of probably the slowest farm in the game, unless you're talking about powdered snow farms. These farms are so slow. Next I'm going to go on to the tutorial for this farm. The item list for all 3 of these different designs is in the description below, so you can go check that out right now if you build these on survival. And they're also over here too, so you can easily see them. So here's the 4-sided one, here's the next one, so this is the 5-sided one, and here is the 6-sided one. So first start off by finding a reasonably sized Amethyst Geode. So this is pretty good size actually, it's quite large. You want to kind of find the large one. Smaller Amethyst Geodes are okay, they still work, but these sort of ones will be much more efficient. You can have more budding amethysts to farm from, compared to the smaller one. So once you found your perfect Amethyst Geode, you're going to start clearing it out. So start by clearing in here. So proportions wise, you should really clear 30 by 30 blocks. So 30 in this direction, and also 30 in this direction, and then 22 blocks up, and just clear out that sort of area. So kind of just make sure that these budding amethysts have a good amount of area under them, and also these budding amethysts have a little bit of area above them, so it's easier to work with. This area here gives you enough space for the redstone and the clock. So when you finish clearing your Amethyst Geode, so you have a lot of area to work with, and all your budding amethysts are easy to see and all visible, you're then going to be starting to mark out which budding amethysts you want to keep. Now onto marking out of the budding amethysts. So here is an example of marking out. So what we're doing is we're just marking out which budding amethysts we want to keep. What we're doing is we're essentially just getting rid of some of the budding amethysts which are going to be in the way of the farm and all the redstone, because keeping all of these will be a bit of a mess. It'll be quite hard to put all the redstone in place, and it'll require a lot of work. And we also want to try and make it as efficient as possible, so by getting rid of the least amount of budding amethysts as possible. So the concept for marking out the budding amethyst is to go across here and here, and this is the size of the farm. So as you can see, the farm around here, so there's hoppers here on this side, and there's also pistons here. So you have to make sure that each side all around here is marked out here, but nothing can interact with this side. Then we mark the edges for the glass, so this is going to encase the farm. Now, as you can see, the budding amethyst also has some area on top of it, where this piston is here. So you have to mark out up here too. And the budding amethyst has 2 spaces of air down here, so you've got the hoppers and you've got this air space here. So we're going to have to mark 2 down. And it's pretty much the same for all the other farms. This farm also takes up the same amount of area here. This farm takes up a little bit more area, but as it's only on the back here that takes up more area, it doesn't matter as much, because that will always be on the outside. How you want to do this is you're probably going to want to start from the bottom, because it will be easy to access. So this one's quite easy to do, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it out. So you can use glass, or you can use any block whatsoever, but I'm using glass so it's easier to see. And I'm going to mark out 2 across here, 2 across here, 2 across here, 2 across here, 1 up here, and 2 down here. Now, any budding amethysts that are in the way, you can just break like this. Now this one will be in the way because it needs its own space. So you'll need 2 blocks across here like this. So this one will be in the way, so we can break that. Now this one over here, so I don't think this one will be in the way actually. If we go 2 across here, and if we go 2 across here, these 2 bits of glass can also overlap too. And I'll break this because this is in the way. Now this one over here, so this one might be perfect. So here and here, here and here. This one is just on point, so this one's perfect as well. And then I would break any of the budding amethysts that are in the way. So these ones over here, so you can't have this sort of L shape here because they're just too many in an area. You only need 1 of these maybe, so if this one's actually fits. So this one's perfectly fine over here. This one will work perfectly. And it's only overlaps with this one here. So it'll be perfectly fine for this farm. This one here will overlap down here. Like that. So you will need to break this one as well. So marking out this is really simple if you just know the rules. When you've finished marking out all your budding amethysts, you're going to want to go and choose your design. So over here I've got 3 different designs here. So this is the 4-sided design, 5-sided and 6-sided. So choose which design suits you the most. So for whatever design you're building, you're going to have to times that by the amount of budding amethysts you have to build this farm. Now I'm going to start off with the first design. This is the 4-sided Amethyst Geode farm. So first I'm going to choose one of these, so I'm going to start with the lower ones because it's easier. My advice to you would be to start with one of the lower budding amethysts. So I'm going to start off this one. So start off by clearing all the glass or any of the temporary blocks that are in the way of marking out these budding amethysts. Then what you need to do is you'll need to place a block here. You get a piston, place it here, 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 and down here. Then you're going to need your button. Place it over here to stop any of the amethyst clusters from growing here. Then you're going to need a temporary block. You're going to put a observer in here, like this. Then you'll need a block here, here. Then you need to shift click into this button. Put glass here. Put glass here, here, here. And just have to cover this all up, like this. And then just put a temporary block, so I'm probably going to use my barrels, that's what I've got left. Use that as a temporary block. Put glass here. You can break this barrel. Put glass across here. Get a temporary block again. Some glass here. And just going to place all this glass in to cover it all up. Then I'm going to put my barrel in here like this, and this is your collection system. I'm going to put hoppers in like this, and hoppers facing into here like this. Now on to the next design, which we'll be building over here. So we'll clear away all this glass, all these temporary blocks. Then we'll start off by placing a block here. We're going to put some pistons, one here, and here, and here, and here, like this. Then what we'll need to do is we'll need to get an observer, face it into here like this, and an observer facing into here. Then what we'll need to do is we'll need to get a block, place it in here, and put a piston on this side right here. Then we'll need to get a block here and here, and another one over here like this. Then what we'll need to do is we'll need to get a block here, so this is just a temporary block, so it can be any block whatsoever. And we'll need to place an observer facing into here like this, so that the face is on this side. Then I'm going to use my barrel as my temporary block, so I'm going to go to this side over here. I'm going to place my barrel here. I'm going to get some glass and place it here. Then I'll break this barrel and place the glass in like this. Then I'll need to get my glass and place it in over here, and I'll go on this side and cover it up from this side too. Then I'm going to get my barrel and place it here, and this is the collection system. Get the hoppers, place it in like this, and over here. Now onto the 6-pod Amethyst Geode farm. So first start off by breaking this side. So this is the side that you're sending your input from. Now face a piston into here like this, and a piston down here like this. Then place a block here, break these blocks over here, and face a piston in this way. And then you can put a block up here like this, Place an observer into here like this, and then put an oak fence gate here, or any fence gate will do. You can break this glass here because it's not needed. Then you'll need to break this glass here, and put a piston in here like this, and then put an observer down here facing into here, and then break these glass here, and put a piston facing into here like this. Then get an observer and face it into here, and get another observer and face it into here like this. Get a block and place it here. You can break this glass down here, then place a piston in here like this. Then get a full block and place it over here like this. Then a fence gate and place it down here. Get some redstone dust and place it up here. Then get a glass block and place it down here. Get a repeater and place it in here. Get 2 temporary blocks, place them here and here. You can break this block here, put an observer in, and break this block here. Then shift click and place some glass here and here, and here, and also down here like this. Place a temporary block here, and some glass down here. You can break this temporary block, put glass here and here. Then put glass here, get a temporary block and place it here. Put glass here, break the temporary block, and put some glass up here. Then put some glass over here, like this. Then put a barrel over here. Get your hoppers and place them in this sort of alignment over here. So one here, here, one back here, and then the last one over here. You'll need to build each of these designs for all of these budding amethysts. So you don't have to build the same design for each one. To finish this farm off, you're going to have to build one of these for each of these budding amethysts until you've done all of them. Now we're going to move on to the last step, which is the redstone clock. So for the redstone clock, you'll need all these items over here, and then these powered rails here are going to be connecting the redstone clock up to the Amethyst Geode farm itself. And then these dirt blocks are all the hopper items. Now start off by getting some redstone dust and place it over here like this. Then we'll need a sticky piston. Face it into here so it's facing this way. Get a redstone block here. Then get a dropper and place it over here like this. Get a hopper and face it in here. Then you're going to need a temporary block. We're going to place it down here. And then a normal block over here. You're going to get a comparator, face it into here. Then we're going to get a block and place it here. Now we're going to get a sticky piston and face it in here like this. Going to get a temporary block, place it here, and a normal block here. You can break this temporary block and put some redstone dust here. And then we're going to get a block here. So face it in from this redstone here. And then we're going to get a temporary block. We're going to place it down here. And then a normal block here. Place a comparator facing into here like this. Then you're going to need your items, so put 40 normal items inside here. So now place a temporary block over here, and a normal block here, like this. Get a redstone torch and face it into here, and then put a redstone torch here as well. Next, get some redstone dust and place it here. Then you'll need a sticky piston, face a sticky piston in over here. Get a redstone block and place it on top of here. We'll put a temporary block here, then a hopper in here. You break this temporary block, and put a hopper down here. Then we'll need another temporary block here. Get a sticky piston in here. You can break this temporary block in a second. Just place a block here and here. You can break this temporary block now. Get a comparator and some redstone dust here. Now the last block, we'll need a temporary block here. And a normal block here. You can break this temporary block because it's in the way. We can put this comparator here. And then we'll need to put our hopper items inside. So what we can do is we can just place them in here. Like this. And it'll start filling up, and then your clock is done. Now we're going to link up these Amethyst Geode farms to the actual clock itself. So all we need to do is we'll need to get a temporary block, place it here, and then a normal block here. We can break this temporary block. We need a repeater, and we need to put this on 2 ticks. Then we need some blocks here, and now it's pretty much linked up. So what we need to do is we need to get some powered rail, and this is what we're going to use to link it up. Well, what we're going to do to connect this up is we need to connect these rails to these observers on the end here. So each of the farms has like an observer facing outwards into here. And then you're going to need to connect these powered rails to these observers to trigger the farm. So with this Amethyst Geode farm here and its observer here, what we can do to trigger it is we can break this block, we can break this one here, and get a powered rail here. And then place an observer into here, like this. And it's all linked up to this farm here. So now you're going to have to link them up to all the other farms. So you have a lot of other farms around the area. So when you're taking a turn, you're probably going to want to get some rail here. And then you want to line it up here. So I'm going to place some rail here. I'm going to place an observer facing into here. And a block here to save some rail. And we'll break that block and we'll get some rail. And we're going to face it downwards. So we want to line it up with this. Make sure it all lines up. Like this. And then place all the rail like this over here. So to make sure it works, we're just going to put a redstone block, or you can use a lever, and it's able to reach it. And then with the other one, we're going to have to go round. So if we go round like this, and an observer here, a block here, and then to make sure, we want to check if it reaches or not. So it's not able to reach. So what we can do is, where it's not able to reach, put an observer here and a block here, and it is able to reach now. So I put a redstone block here, it's able to reach onto this end here and trigger this observer, which will trigger this powered rail. So I place powered rail across here. Now we're almost at this farm here, so I'm going to make a path all the way there to make it easier to build. So I'm going to get some powered rail, we'll place it across here, then we'll put an observer here, a block here. So as you can see here, the powered rail can't reach to this observer here. So in the center, we're going to put an observer here. Now we don't need an additional block because it really won't make any difference whatsoever. Now it is able to reach this Amethyst Geode farm. So you'll need to connect this up to all the other budding amethysts to make sure that this Amethyst Geode farm is all connected up to this clock system. So with this Amethyst Geode farm, we've connected all of them. So we've got the observer facing into here, and it's connected up to this one. And we've connected all these different Amethyst Geode farms with this rail. But we've made sure that the observers are able to reach all this powered rail, and that all this powered rail is able to reach the ends of this observer. And pretty much what you need to do is just do this sort of wiring here, and just make sure that all the observers are able to reach the signal from this clock, which is sent from this clock. Now once you finish building your farm should look a little bit like this. If you're using a different design, then it will look different, because you'll be using a different design. But your farm should look something a little bit like this. So all the wires should all be connected like this. Now my advice would be to test it all out, just to make sure that all the pistons trigger and everything like that. And it just makes sure that the farm works perfectly. If you want to turn off the farm, then you can put a lever down here like this, and it should turn off the farm, which it has done. So no items are entering into this hopper here, and that's an easy way of turning it off, but there's not really much point in turning it off. If you have any questions about this Amethyst Geode farm whatsoever, or any of the designs, then make sure to leave a comment down below, or even join my Discord server, because I'll be able to help you much quicker there. And if you need help, that's a good time to say that you could join my Discord server. I'll be able to help you there. The YouTube comment section isn't a great place for me to help you. If you found this video useful at all, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because it's really appreciated. And only really subscribe if you're actually going to watch my videos, and if you actually like my sort of content. You don't have to watch all my videos, but it's quite cool if you watch a few, if you're actually going to subscribe, because that's pretty much what subscribing is anyway. And also make sure to leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this video as well. Also tell me about your farm too. Leave it down in the comment section how you found your farm, if it's working well, if it's maybe not working as well as you wanted it to, because I can help you with that sort of stuff. But leave a comment down below if you have any of that sort of stuff. And I'll see you in the next video if you're going to watch any more of my videos, and goodbye.